Wink, wink.
Hi, Spots and Cheap Pops presents your moment in the Valley, ladies and gentlemen. Day after WrestleMania 39, Saturday night, night one culminating Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens defeating the Usos, members of the Bloodline, for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. And phenomenal moment. This event really, I don't want to say from top to bottom, but from top to almost the bottom, absolutely a brilliant match. And before we get into just some of my reviews and some of my commentary, it was really great to have this WrestleMania built around the actual wrestlers who have been doing the work all year. So many times over the last several years, Vince would bring in a big star. Vince would bring in a pop star. Vince would bring in a movie actor. Vince would bring in a musician. Somebody to have some kind of spot, big angle in a match, taking up someone else's time because you didn't get them in a good enough storyline for people to care about. Triple H changed all of that. That's a whole different ballgame. This WrestleMania was based around the stars in WWE current day. They didn't need to go get Stone Cold Steve Austin. They honestly got to a point where people were saying they'd rather have Roman Reigns face Cody or Sami than The Rock. That would never be a conversation any of us would have had a year ago. So kudos to Triple H to making this WrestleMania being about your current day stars. Bravo, and I can't thank you enough, everybody at WWE, for working hard to make some of the changes that have been so great and made the product the best it's been possibly in 2 decades. And maybe even better in some regards, by the way, because this Bloodline storyline just continues to unfold. And I think we're seeing kind of the latter stages of this chapter. And it's, of course, culminates Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens beating the Usos. And it was as good of a match as you'd want to see. I'm not going to give any spoilers and give you any spots, but great emotion, great feel-good moments at it. And when I say I'm not giving away spoilers, I mean actual spots in the match, because there's a lot of you who probably haven't seen it yet. You want to go back and watch it. So at the end of the day, this was an absolute great emotional-filled match. There were a lot of false finishes. It maybe got to a point where there were one or too many. There were a lot of that, but it built that emotion. And then the way the match finished was, I believe, a really good moment too. It was an absolute moment, and it was a great culmination of the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso saga, including Jimmy Uso in that. And hey, the last part of this is tonight with Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns, and I'm certainly excited about that. We're going to touch on that briefly toward the end of this video. Other than that, big highlights for me, Charlotte and Rhea. They absolutely tore it down. This could have been the greatest women's championship match in WrestleMania history. You have arguably the two best in-ring women. And not only are they the best in ring, they're also their stature. They're big girls. They're big framed. They are just physical specimens, both of them, in terms of the conditioning they're in terms of how they also know what they're doing inside the squared circle. It was absolutely perfect. Charlotte Flair continues to push women forward. Is whether you love her or hate her, she's certainly somebody that you have to admit, when the lights are brightest, she brings always a top-notch match. Hey, don't forget, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte threw it down a couple years ago during the pandemic WrestleMania. Kudos to those women. They threw it down. Obviously, Rhea Ripley, like many people thought, got the victory, but it was a great match. Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, another outstanding match. I don't see a lot of gratifying attributes from Logan Paul as a human being, or even as a hype man or as an entertainer outside of professional wrestling. But wow, the guy knows what he's doing. It also helps. He's usually in the ring with a person who really knows how to wrestle. I don't know if Logan Paul can go out there with a Baron Corbin and throw the house down, or somebody who's more pedestrian in the ring, but we'll see. He hasn't had to. And honestly, he's never going to be a full-time player, but Logan Paul certainly, once again, continues to impress and show you his prowess. And great intros for both of them. I actually found the Logan Paul one annoying, which I think was the point. If it was supposed to be he's cool, it didn't work. I mean, he sucks. Hey, y'all. Hey, look at me, everybody. I'm coming down. Get me out of here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, is there any substance to him as a human being? And I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I don't know him on his YouTube show. I've never clicked on one of his videos in my entire life. I'm a 45-year-old man. YouTubers aren't really my thing. But Logan Paul just doesn't seem like he's, I don't know. I don't get it. As a human being, I just don't see substance there. I don't think he's bad. I just don't know what he's about. But he's a great fucking athlete and a great professional wrestler. That's for damn sure. Also, all the other matches were a lot of fun, and they all performed better than I thought I was expecting. Rey and Dominic was fun. Good, really good match. Told a good story. A little bit surprising. I thought Dominic was going to go over, but great moment for Rey. Had a nice moment with his family in there. And the newly reformed Latino World Order, which was a big thing on Friday night. If you don't know what the Latino World Order was, it was a faction Eddie Guerrero came up with in WCW days, and he got all of the Lucha Libres and Latino wrestlers, not all of them, but many of them, in one faction. Rey actually had to take his mask off and join the faction and turn heel for the first time in his life. Little tidbit if you didn't know your WCW history. Anyway, Rey Mysterio had a nice homage to Eddie Guerrero a couple times throughout this night. He came out to lie and cheat and steal. Snoop Dogg's driving a convertible. It was a whole thing. So they did a good job, though, with that match. The four-way tag match was great. Phenomenal spot. Chad Gable did a deadlift suplex, German suplex on Braun Strowman. Got a huge pop for it, but it was a lot of fun. The crowd was red hot for it, which you don't see a lot with these mid-card matches, but the stars are there. The Street Profits come out on top there. Really fun match. Nothing crazy, but showed a spotlight on every one of these tag teams. And I think the WWE tag team division might be in pretty darn good shape, but look for the Street Profits to get a massive push after this WrestleMania. And all the other matches, and I'm not going to get too much into the rest of them, other than Austin Theory, John Cena opened the show, and wow, what a dud. I'm not trying to be a jerk off here about it. And I like Cena, but again, it's one of those things. Austin Theory doesn't make me feel anything. Harkening back to John Cena's interview, and John Cena just seemed like he was going through the motions. He was having fun, but it was a blah match at best. Nothing bad, overtly horrible in it, but it just wasn't fun. I kind of wanted to fast forward it, but it was live, so I was fucked. But not really a very good starting point of your night, but it was all uphill from there. Every match was really good. Even the triples match with the women, with Damage Control and of course Lita Trish Stratus and the man Becky Lynch. That was a really good match, fun match, and I have to give the crowd a lot of credit. They were white hot, even for these mid-card matches that might not have gotten as much time to promote, particularly the four-way tag match. White hot for this match. So the LA crowd, you guys were fantastic. Give yourselves a big round of applause. But again, Cena and Theory was definitely the low light of this entire show, and I haven't seen it from Austin. And Austin Theory was interviewed a couple of moments after his match, and he asked if you believe in Austin Theory. I don't yet. I'm sorry. I still do not. He's good for a 24-year-old kid, for sure. Should he be a United States Championship when you have this roster? Probably not. And that's kind of how I feel about that, unfortunately. But it's all good. It was out of the way early. I'm just so glad, because when they first put the graphic for Saturday night, they put Cena and Austin as the marquee matchup. And I was like, shit, that should not be the main event of WrestleMania. It just shouldn't. And I don't think John Cena clearly wasn't taking chances. Put it to you that way. So I think they were probably limited to what they could do, but the match never drew me in. You knew Austin Theory was winning this. I actually called the finish of it a few minutes before it even happened. So nothing surprising. It was a bleh match tops. And when you're on a match where every other match delivered or over-delivered, you're going to be the one that people are saying, that match sucked. And so Austin Theory, and the greatest of all time, and I love John Cena, but you guys definitely were the weak link in an otherwise just fantastic WrestleMania.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button on High Spots and Cheap Pops.